Hey everyone, welcome back to the tower. In my last video, I talked about Disney housing, but I left out one important part, and that is the rules and regulations. There are a lot of rules. I think when most people learn about the Disney College program and they discover that Disney provides housing for the participants, they get really excited. It's a great way to start out living on your own. It's a great way to save up money. It's a great way to not have to worry about budgeting because Disney takes out the money for your rent before you even realize it's there. I'll be living with other awesome Disney participants and I'll have my independence. How awesome, right? Wrong. Like any great thing in life, the Disney College program housing does come with drawbacks. It's not a perfect setup by any means. There are a lot of rules and regulations. Picture, if you will, the Fairly Odd Parents' The Rules book. Big purple book with all the rules in it. Picture that, because that's basically what you're getting thrown at you. You'll have a housing meeting where you discuss that on one of the first days of your program, and they will go over all the rules with you. But just so you're prepared before you get to Orlando, I wanted to make a video about them now. Now you may be thinking, well, I live in a college dorm and my rules aren't that bad here, so they can't be any worse at Disney. Not necessarily true. Unless you go to a very conservative school, it's nothing like that. And even then, there are probably rules that Disney has that your school doesn't. Almost all of my friends on my program lived in university apartments or dorms prior to their program, and even they thought the rules were a bit extreme. Keep that in mind. It's not that any of the rules are hard to follow. They're all pretty simple, but they will probably change the way you live your daily life while you're on your program. This isn't going to be a complete list of all the rules and regulations on the Disney College program. Keep that in mind. I'm just pointing out the ones that I found to be particularly jarring or surprising, or ones that I just found that were really ridiculous. You cannot leave doors or windows open at any time. This one really bugged me. If you're cooking in the kitchen and something burns, you don't have a way of airing your apartment out. You can't open your window, you can't open the sliding glass door out to your balcony. You just kind of have to sit there and hope your fans are enough to circulate it out. Another thing about this that is problematic, your door is locked at all times. The handle of your door never unlocks. So if you're getting groceries and it takes more than one trip, you have to make sure you have your key with you. You can't unlock your door and then just reopen it. Like, you have to unlock it each time you enter it. If you run downstairs to get the mail and your roommate decides to leave and you didn't take your house key with you, you're locked out. I think it was most problematic when we were moving stuff in because we were taking multiple trips up and down from the car, and it was like, okay, somebody make sure you have your key with you at all times. So it's kind of a pain, but you do adapt to it after a while. There's also a list of prohibited items that you absolutely cannot have in your apartment. If you're in a wellness apartment, clearly you cannot have alcohol. This one is just common sense. The legal drinking age in the state of Florida is 21. Disney does not want their cast members to break the law. Here's where it gets tricky. I don't find the rule is wrong. I understand that it's the law. Totally get it. Cool. If you're in a wellness apartment and your roommate is on the couch drinking a beer and you are home, you are suddenly in jeopardy of getting terminated. You may not know about it. You may be in your room fast asleep and your roommate's chilling drinking. But if you're home and they're drinking, you are at risk for termination. It is dependent on the situation. Every situation is different. Every security guard that's going to handle the situation is going to be different. So clearly your outcome is not guaranteed termination. I know someone who was caught with their roommates having alcohol and they did not get terminated. But I also know people who did get terminated for that reason. It is really all up in the air and it's not worth the risk. You can never work for the Walt Disney Company again if you get fired for underage drinking. Period. This is why it's really important when you meet your roommates online or if you go for random selection that you sit down with your roommates at the very beginning and establish some rules or some guidelines. If your roommates want to drink, tell them to drink outside of the apartment, because if they're not with you, you can't get in trouble for it. Simple as that. No weapons or things that look like a weapon. This one just makes me laugh because, okay, obviously I don't want real weapons anywhere near me. Don't bring your gun, don't bring your ancient Japanese samurai sword, don't bring a taser. Come on now, like, let's be real. They want to keep everyone safe. That part's fine. I'm perfectly comfortable with people not being allowed to have weapons. Here's where it gets amusing. You can't have things that look like weapons. No bubble guns, which are sold at every glow cart across Disney property. They're a toy, they're clear, and you can see that the gears inside are colorful, and there are flashing lights, and it shoots bubbles. But you can't have it. You can do some serious damage to someone with a bubble gun, okay? My absolute favorite prohibited weapon, lightsabers. Star Wars is now owned by Disney, meaning the image of the lightsaber is part of Disney culture now. At the Star Tours attraction at Hollywood Studios in Tatooine, the gift shop, you can build your own lightsaber, but you can't take it back to Disney housing with you. What am I gonna do with this big plastic thing? Like, it's a piece of plastic. I don't understand. Please don't waste your money making a lightsaber or buying a bubble gun because you can't have them. No hookahs. I know this disappointed a lot of people. Unfortunately, Disney considers it to fall under the umbrella of drug paraphernalia, and so you can't have them in housing. Now you guys might be wondering, okay, cool, so you gave me this list of prohibited items that I can't have, but how is Disney ever gonna know that I have them? Housing inspections. Wait, inspections? So you mean like if somebody says that I have a weapon, Disney's gonna come check for it? No. I mean, every 4 to 6 weeks, your apartment is going to be inspected at random. Disney picks a complex that's going to be inspected. It'll be posted at the front of your complex what the dates for your inspection are. Usually lasts about a week and a half. And during that week and a half, your whole complex will be inspected. They don't say, hey, on August 21st, we are going to inspect Patterson number 14305. They say from August 20th to August 31st, we're going to be inspecting Patterson Court. And you know that for that 11-day period, you better have your apartment in top condition. They don't care if you're home. They don't care if you're asleep. They don't care what you're doing. They're coming in and they're inspecting. Your apartment is expected to be clean. I understand that the definition of clean varies from person to person. And it also varies from inspector to inspector. When you check in, you'll be given a checklist with all the things that should be in your apartment. One of the things on that list is a sparkle bucket. A sparkle bucket is just a normal like mop bucket with some different cleaning supplies in it. It's really helpful and it is refillable. So each time you run out of an item, you just take the empty can down to housing and they replace it for you. So that's really great so you don't have to spend your money on cleaning supplies, and it does help you when it comes time for inspection. Vacuum cleaners can also be rented at each complex's main housing office. So you can go get a vacuum, take it back up to your apartment, do a quick sweep, and then take it back down. So you don't have to bring one with you. You get points for every violation, and after a certain number of points, you fail. If you fail the inspection, they take, I believe it's $25 out of each roommate's check the following week. They also come back and re-inspect you. The last rule that I want to cover is the one that irked me the most. That honestly is the only reason that I would never live in Disney housing ever again. The visitors policy. So if your family or friends are coming to visit and they're not DCP participants, they have to be checked in. So you have to walk or drive down to the security gate, meet your family member there. They take down their license plate number, all that fun stuff, and they keep that on file so that they know who is in the apartment complex. Visitors that aren't participants have to leave your apartment by, I believe it was midnight on my program. You don't check anyone out of the complex, but Disney does know if they're still there. The security guards all ride around on their little golf carts all the time, 24 hours a day, and they're looking for those license plates. The part of this that really gets me is the rule for participants. So if you're a Disney College Program participant and you want to visit your friend, you need to be out of their apartment by 2 a.m. There's a number of reasons why this is just awful to me. For one, you will most likely not be getting off work until 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, depending on which park you work in. I worked in Epcot. I got off every night almost at 11:30. That meant by the time I drove home, it was midnight. So I only had like an hour and 45 minutes to be with my boyfriend. What? And not just boyfriend, it was with all my friends. You can't have sleepovers. Clearly, if someone has to be out of your apartment by 2, forget it if you want to have one of your friends from work crash at your apartment that's also on the program. That's not allowed. And they really don't care what the circumstances are. I will give you an example. One time, I was leaving my boyfriend's apartment. I was leaving at 1:55. Like I made sure that I was on time. I go downstairs, I go to start my car, and it won't start. I panic, I'm crying. I have work the next morning. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I haven't used the bus system yet. I'm freaking out. About 20 minutes later, I walk to security with my boyfriend so that I can go home. I stop to tell the security guard what happened. I have tears streaming down my face still. I stopped to tell them, hey, My car is broken down. Here's where it's parked. It has a Patterson Court decal. I just don't want you to think that I'm still here. I'm leaving. They did not care. They took my housing ID from me, scheduled a housing meeting that made me miss work, and I had to go to this housing meeting and tell them what happened so that I could find out what my punishment was. Thank God the person listening to the case was more reasonable than the security guard and was like, while this is rare, okay, fine. The security guard said I should have called the moment that this happened. I'm sorry that when my car didn't start, my first thought wasn't to call the security guard. It's just really frustrating, and there's not much compassion there. I'm 21 years old. I don't need somebody telling me when I can be at somebody's apartment or not, plain and simple. Just a quick note, I'm not making this video to tell you that housing is bad or that you shouldn't live in housing. I'm not trying to discourage anyone in any way. A lot of people absolutely adore their housing experience. I just want you guys to be prepared for what you are looking at when you move to Orlando. It's not all fun and games. There are rules that go along with it. And those rules come with very strict penalties. It's not just a slap on the wrist and a warning. So that's why I made this video, so that you are prepared for what's ahead. That being said, I hope you all have the best housing experience possible. I hope you love your roommates and have a great apartment and a great program. Part of my reason for making this video is maybe if you have it in your head that this is how it's gonna be, maybe you can be prepared and not have these things take away from your experience because you'll already know they're gonna happen. Also, so if one of these really struck a chord with you and you don't think you can handle it, you can still opt into off-site housing. I really hope you guys found this video helpful and informative. If you have any questions about housing rules or anything about the Disney College program or anything in general, feel free to ask below in the comments section. My Tumblr Ask box is also always open, and I do take anon questions as well. So if you have something to say that you don't want your name attached to, feel free to leave it there. I'd also love to hear your opinions on the housing rules or any of your personal experiences with them. And as always, for more information on the Disney College program and all things Disney, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a magical day.